everyone, and welcome back. In the last video I had shared some stuff that was sent to me by a few sisters in the Lord, and one thing I forgot that Trish Adams had sent in the box was this here. It is a gratitude journal to renew my thoughts and mind, Philippians 4:8, and it just has like where you can paint and do your color testing. And let me see if I find, and I'm gonna have to tell you something interesting about this. You have goals here, and then just to try to do your vision boards, I guess is what it is. Words. Write 7 favorite words for the season and journal one of your favorite verses, quotes, or sayings. And then this other page is for lettering or journaling, whatever comes to mind. And it's like just being artsy. Space for notes and ideas, and just like the month that you're, I guess if you do it in, I don't know if every page has or every section has one for the month. I believe so, but I might just be for this is for the month, this month, whatever month that you started in. It has this kind of stuff here, and they do have a few different ones. It looks like they have 9 of them. And this one is, I'm not sure. It just shows 9 different things in the back, so I don't know which one this would be considered. And of course I can't see the smaller ring with my glasses. But they have one, days at home. And a few different types of journals, like the same type of thing. The interesting thing about this is maybe over a year or 2 ago, Shannon from my online Bible studies as well, my other sister in the Lord, sent me this very book. I started it, I played in it for a bit. I just wasn't sure how to do it with all the artsy stuff because I just didn't do a lot. So I did start that one, and I put it in my bookshelf, and it's somewhere in there. So I want to pull that out, and I'm going to use this one as well and just go through it one more time. I mean, there's got to be something in here if I got it twice. And this has been a while. I probably went through maybe half of the other one. Hopefully I can find it. It might be put away, packed up somewhere, but hopefully I can find it and I can share that. And another thing I wanted to share is, I had talked about, at the Well Ministries, where I'm doing an online Bible study, which Shannon is our, group leader right now, and Diana is our team leader, and Rachel's also in the group, and quite a few other wonderful ladies. And this is the study that we're doing now. And I have 2 of these. One of them I've already used. So this will be my second time around doing this one. As a matter of fact, I think this is the one. I'm not sure if this is the new one. Susie sent me, I believe it was Susie. Yeah, I believe it was her that sent me this one the first time. She sent this to me, it was a few months after my mom passed away. And she really liked this study, and it's a really good study. So I'm really excited to go through this one more time with the ladies and just, just really walk through this with them and be able to share. And this talks, it shows, shares a lot about the feasts, and it comes from, I believe it shares like the culture, the Jewish culture, and how it, how it was. It kind of comes from that perspective, where the Bible was written, and all that kind of stuff. Geez, I'm stumbling over my words. And the author is Christy McLeland, and they've got videos that go along with it. So when you get the book, there's a code in the back that gives you video access, and then this whole book goes through all those videos, and you get questions and all the things to go through, and it's a really wonderful study. So if you haven't done it, or if you're interested in it, I can link the study down below. We started on Monday, but I'm not sure. I can't remember how many weeks it's going to be. I don't know how fast they're going to go through it, but I think it'd be worth looking into. But this is kind of what some of the sessions are, and then I can this is kind of the setup. I think my camera's a little dirty. It doesn't look like it's picking up very well. It gives you some of the Hebrew words in here. So yeah, that's what we're doing now, and I'm behind, of course. It's just been a few weeks of just been pretty hard, so I'm kind of behind on the studies. Also, through Love God Greatly, we are doing SOAP studies, Triumph Over Trials, and it's through First Peter that we're in right now. Of course, I'm a few days behind on that, or a couple days behind, I guess. And this is just what I do. I just write down what group that I'm in, and I'm in Freedom Sisters 2 is our small group. And the week 1, it's Monday, the theme of the study, and then what we're supposed to read and what we're supposed to soap, and then I just fill that in here. And normally in the group I just share this because it takes me a while to type all the stuff out on my phone, so I'll just share a picture of whatever I'm doing. And I started Wednesdays and didn't finish, and I just did use some ink, and then this washi tape has little paw prints, and so that's another one that I'm doing. So those are some things that I wanted to share before I get into the rest of this video. And now if I can remember what I was going to share here. Oh, okay. So the last video that I did in the healing journey, I was in chapter 4 of the body clutter. There's so much. I just went over a few more pages, so I'm probably only going to share a little bit in this as well. I'm hoping this video doesn't get too long, because my videos are really long, and sometimes I just wonder if that's like overwhelming for people. But I'll try to cut them down. So the last thing I talked about, let me see, I think I marked it in here. You know, she talks about how we run things. Like, we manage to run households. Some of us raise children, hold jobs, but the fix for a weight problem is like elusive, right? It's something that we can't seem to figure out. And this is what I highlighted. We know intuitively and intellectually that it is truly a logical issue that requires one small baby step at a time. So why then do we fight this truth so hard? I think because it's scary. I mean, that's kind of what it was like for me. There's a lot of reasons. Hold on. I gotta stretch out my leg again. The scary part for me is, first, okay, how hard is this going to be? How far out of my comfort zone am I going to have to go? Especially with working out. Because even though I did this in college and had 3 or 4 different classes each semester, that was like, walk, jog, and water aerobics and all that stuff. I don't have that luxury now, to do it in that way. So I have to go, and, and I live about 30 minutes away from one city that I could go to a gym, and about 40 minutes from my hometown that has a gym, but everything in between, there's just a bunch of small towns, like small villages, places like that we don't have a gym here. So it's that kind of thing. So, and plus I just don't know how it would be going to a gym for me because of anxiety and all the stuff that I have to deal with. And so I'm going to work up to that. I'm hoping eventually that will be something I can do. But in the meantime, the baby steps. So if I know that my struggle is, well, I live too far from a gym right now, to be able to go daily, especially I don't have my own car. So I'd have to either get a ride. I use my dad's car sometimes, but gas is expensive. There's a lot of things. And so unless I can coordinate everything with an appointment that I have, because I have a standing appointment once a week in Las Vegas in my hometown, I just don't know. It's one of those things that I'm really struggling with. And so the baby step for me would be, what can I do here? I can do something here. I know, like me and my sister were talking this morning, Jermaine, about our excuses. And one of my excuses, I don't have enough space in here. It's a small cabin and we have a lot of stuff and we have our cats and our dog, and there's not a lot of space for me to work out. Outside here, there's an acre of land, but the dogs, these two have to be right by me all the time. Now, of course, I could probably get them used to me doing some kind of workout outside, but there's that. It's that struggle of how do I get them to learn to leave me alone. They're both puppies, young dogs still. So, but there is a way. Like, I can go walking. I can go down to the skate spot that my husband has. There's space there for me to do workouts, but like I said, the excuses and procrastination, I'm still not there. And every time I think about it, I just want to kick myself. Like, I could be doing this. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot at the beginning. I know I can do something. Even if it's just walking. I mean, there's times I could just sit down here and walk in place. Just something. And this is something that I underline that really makes so much sense. It seems to me that our excuses insulate us from the facts. In other words, if we can rally behind the rationalizations, we are home free, or so we think. No, we don't have to face those things. We don't have to face our own excuses if we just, continue making them. We don't have to face the reason for them. We just, oh no, I can't because blah, 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 whatever it is. And instead of facing those things and actually taking the baby steps, the logical baby steps, the practical steps, all the things that we know would be better for us, we look for we look for miracle cures for our new aches and pains without taking into account the obvious. We need to lose the body clutter. And for me, the first time that I had lost a good amount of weight, which is like 32 pounds or so, I did notice a difference in the pain levels. Granted, they were still high because of fibromyalgia and arthritis, but it wasn't as consistently high like that. Not the way they normally are. And now, granted, when weather changes or I get a flare up, that's totally different. But without the extra weight, there's not so much issues, or not so much strain on my knees, especially my back, because recently my knees have been worse than they had been before. But I know moving, gaining muscle helps all of that stuff. We know this, the logical things. I just don't do what I should do. And it doesn't matter what excuse I have, it's still just an excuse that I can overcome. One thing that she shares later on down on that page is our excuses it's just all in our head, right? For the most part. There are some physical challenges for some of us and everything, but even with that, I mean, like, I watched this lady on YouTube, and she has really bad problems with her knees, so she can't work out standing up a lot. So she does chair workouts. I'm like, well, and I think I've shared this before already. Her name's Mary. And it's like, if she has that much trouble, getting around, walking around and everything, and I can move, I can walk, if they do hurt me, but I can still move around. I can do some of these exercises just like standing up and doing. So what's my excuse? Like, what is it? And I look at her and it's like, it's inspiring, it's encouraging. It's just, it's implementing that step. Seeing someone and getting encouragement, inspiration by watching them is wonderful. The awareness of what we have to do is the first step we have to take, and then we need the next one. And that's where I've done it with the food for the most part. I still have some issues with that every once in a while, but it's just knowing that, okay, I need to stay away from these things. And I'm noticing, like, especially with the medication I have, there are certain things that just I haven't had in a while, and I have, and it's like, no, I can't have that. But for the most part, I've done pretty well with that. But the exercise, I don't know. I don't even know what it is, because once I'm doing it, I'm not going to say like I enjoy it and I really love it or anything, but it feels good to do something and to move your body. Now, what I was going to share is, I highlighted, start with the body clutter between your ears. Get real, get honest, and face it. Scary proposition, yes, but only for a moment. Then you have the opportunity to savor the victory, the first baby steps to freedom from body clutter. And it's so true, because everything that's in our head, we justify. We justify the reasons why we do what we do, why we can't do this, why we can't do that. And as valid as those reasons are, our health is much more important. Our well-being is much more important. Living a better life is much more important. A lot of things that she shares, which I never thought this before, but the more I read this book, she talks a lot about all those excuses that we have and all the things that we use to stop ourselves from doing things that we should do, is because of perfectionism, plain and simple, and at its ugliest. It was easier to tell ourselves a lie than it was to accept that we were not perfect. And it's funny, because consciously maybe we don't think that way. Maybe we're not telling ourselves, well, you're not perfect and you can't do this perfectly, so just don't do it. But somewhere, that's the record playing. It's that if you can't do this right the first time, then don't do it. And that's me. I have issues, but I know I can't do it right. Like even this painting stuff. The fact that I'm sharing it on YouTube, I've shared it on Instagram and my Facebook as well. I would never have done that, because it's not perfect. Excuse me. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to learn how to be an artist. Like I don't want to make this about trying to get better for, to give art away or sell it or whatever. That's not what I want to do. I don't even know if I ever want to learn the steps for it yet. I want this to be more about the healing from it, just allowing myself to sit in the presence of the Lord and just getting out all the stuff through whatever. So like a lot of my paintings, some of them are just these stormy desert like scenes, a lot of sunsets, some sunrises, but it's a lot of sunsets. I mean, there's a lot of just, I guess because there's so much stress, turmoil and stuff that is going on inside my head and everything, that's what's coming out. And then I have some that are like these really bright flowers and trees and green grass and all this stuff. And so, I've noticed that in what I'm doing, and I noticed that in my writing as well. And I think when I let myself just be and just do things for the sheer joy of doing them, and just to allow God to just show me things through his word, and then be able to paint what I felt or whatever, just to kind of get all the things out and work through things. So another thing that I highlighted was, deep in our hearts, we know that we are not perfect and we don't have to be, but that doesn't stop the pursuit of perfectionism. we're not going to be perfect. We are never going to be perfect. We're human. We're broken. We're going to mess up and everything. And I think we need to learn to give ourselves grace. I mean, if God can give us enough grace and mercy and forgive us of our sins when we ask and we surrender all that stuff to him, why can't we give ourselves grace and give others grace? Because sometimes we're real good about giving others grace. There's times that I think we do that a lot. We still won't give it to ourselves. And that's something I think we all need to sit with. And I know I do. I need to sit with that and really ask myself, why? What is it that stops you from doing this? And work through that. Later on in that same chapter, it says, the lies make it easier for us to pretend to love ourselves, but they only end up creating even more body clutter. It becomes a vicious cycle of lying to ourselves and stuffing our face to push down the guilt. And that could be stuffing, like for this, granted, we're talking about food, because it's physical body clutter. But we could also be stuffing ourselves with mental body clutter or mental clutter, through the things that we watch, that whatever we consume. If we're, especially when we deal with anxiety, depression and stuff, if I allow myself to listen to the type of music that is all about the things that I'm feeling, but without any hope in it. It's all the stuff that I listened to growing up, and it'll just put me in a worse position than I was to begin with. But I noticed if I put on some praise and worship music, even those ones, because there's quite a few that I really love that talk about those pains and the hurts and the things. Like there's one that I have on my playlist called Weary Traveler, and I can't remember who sings it for the life of me. But if I can find the video, because I have it on Spotify, but if I can find the video, I will link it in the description. As a matter of fact, let me find my little notebook, because if not, I will totally forget when I go to edit this video or upload it. And one question, are you guys having, maybe because I'm a small channel, but really long upload times? I don't have Wi-Fi, but even when I use Wi-Fi at my dad's house, it takes like 2 to 4 hours to upload like a 30 to 40 minute video. Do you guys have that issue as well? Or is it just me, my phone? I don't know. Okay, let me write this down. Weary Traveler. Okay. Now, let's see what else I should, because this way I can get through this part, and then I will do another video the next time. Our bodies are just like our homes, as we kept trying to fill that empty hole in our hearts with stuff, we were also turning to food for comfort. We don't like looking at this, but the truth is that we don't want to face the reality that we are not and will never be perfect. Why is that so hard? Like, the thing is, when we want to be perfect and we think we have to be, we put so much weight on us, so much more burden on ourselves than we need to have. If we just accepted the fact that we will never be perfect, we are going to mess up. We're human, but we can get up again and try one more time and overcome a lot of the obstacles that we have. And with God, we can do so much. We just have to surrender those things to him and let him be our guide. Another thing is body clutter destroys our life, and that is so true. It robs us of our days on this earth. What days we do have are filled with pain and sickness. We may not want to look at this without our rose-colored glasses, but ask yourself, have you ever seen a 100-year-old fat person? And, she goes on to share about diabetes, which I'm currently struggling with type 2 diabetes, and I'm not calling them mine because I'm not going to call, they're not mine. It's not mine. None of these illnesses are mine. I'm struggling with them, and hopefully with if it is God's will, I will be healed from them. And if it's not his will to heal me, then I will be able to learn lessons from this, overcome this stuff, work through it, and share with other people encouragement and just be there. Be able to have empathy and compassion, and we can work together through these things. Now, what she talks about with diabetes is all the stuff that comes with it. I mean, like, just the few of the things that she shares is it causes vision problems. And this was how she found out she had them. She was having some issues with her vision. Let's see. She talks about just how certain things that it affects. I thought there was some more that I highlighted, but when we, like, I know diabetes can cause kidney damage. It can cause heart failure eventually. It can cause heart attacks. It can cause all kinds of things because of all the things that it does to us. But we need to face that. Like she says here, let's not fool ourselves. We deserve honesty. Okay, so here it does talk about the increased risk of heart and circulatory problems, kidney failure. So, and that just comes even with the fact that being overweight puts strain on our organs, puts strain on our body, on everything. So like the pain, right? So you have your ankles hurt, your feet hurt, your whatever. It could just be because of the weight. Now, granted, with fibromyalgia, it's worsened because of that. Arthritis is worsened because of that. I have like heel spurs in both of my feet, but of course they're worsened because of the weight. Like everything would be less painful, I would think. I could be wrong, but I think it would be, just based on how much strain we put on our bodies being overweight, and on our organs. And here she says, my body and my health have been telling me to change my bad, ineffective ways of addressing my weight and lack of exercise. My body has been yelling at me. I want to live and be healthy. Why are you ignoring me? And it's like, it does. I mean, every time you feel sick, especially like just not feeling well, like something's wrong, you're dealing with, your eyes are bothering you, you have headaches, like with my blood pressure is high, sometimes I get headaches. Even with the diabetes, it causes sometimes it causes headaches, the pains, just my stomach not feeling well, the fact that I have to be on Mounjaro, or Mounjaro, however you say it, the fact that I have to be on that because of diabetes and the side effects that come from that. When like Trulicity, when I was on that, I was sick the entire 3 months, at least 3 days each week, with like the horrible side effects that it has. But it's because I made choices that got me to where I am now. I could, when I first found out about having diabetes or pre-diabetes, I could have done something then. I just ignored it because I thought, no, it'll go away, it'll be fine. I do that a lot. It'll be fine. I'll just ignore it. And so she says here, like, okay, so I'll read this whole part. It tells me this every time I am unable to walk up a flight of stairs, sit in a chair comfortably, or take a walk with my husband. My fat is making me miss out on living. Along with all that, the excuses that keep us from ever addressing our obesity, we also have fear. So we make up a whole new set of lies to cover up how scared we really are of change. At least our fat is familiar. And it is true. And I'm going to share one more section here, or one more highlight, and then I will end this video and I will do the rest in another one, because there's just so much good stuff in here. And okay, hold on, because I'm going to have to go back a little bit, because I think it just needs to be this little paragraph here. We picture those images of so-called thin and beautiful people, and we want to change and vow to diet. Then we think, what if I fail? Oh, and what if I succeed? Then we think, oh, we beat ourselves up before we ever get started. No wonder we are afraid. We are the worst abusers of all. We abuse ourselves. We are afraid even to try, so we have fooled ourselves into believing we are just fine the way we are. Well, a 252-pound woman is not healthy, even if her blood pressure is good and her cholesterol is low. We allow our perfectionism to hurt us once again. And, that is so true. We do abuse ourselves, because I know the fact is, I think sometimes, for me anyway, maybe I'm more afraid of succeeding than failing, because we all fail all the time. And I mean, I'm 46 years old, so I failed quite a bit, and I've come out of that. Whether I've dealt with it or not, I've come out of it on the other side, and I'm still going, right? But what if we succeed at it? What changes then? You know, it's the idea that, okay, so now you proved to yourself that you could do this. So when the next thing comes along that we have to battle through, you know, you can do it. And now there's less excuses that you can make, or at least because you know that you can do it, you can't make those excuses anymore without really having to lie to yourself. So there's a lot of choices that we need to make. And like I said in the last video, we need to respect ourselves enough to love ourselves enough to give ourselves grace when we fail, and to get right back up and try again, because we matter. God loves you. He loves me. He loves us all so much that he sent his son to die on the cross for our sins. Like, he sent him, human form, lived a life as human. He died like a human, and he was resurrected so that we could have the chance at eternal life. If you think about this, would you sacrifice your child for somebody else? For a whole entire world of sinners? And we know the things that we've done, and there are people who've done worse. There's people that we've done worse than. Would you sacrifice your son for that? Your daughter? Would you sacrifice yourself for that matter? I really doubt it. I really doubt we would do that for someone, because that takes a lot. That takes a lot of love and a lot of, you know, so the fact that the creator of the universe created everything, set everything in motion, was willing to do that for us. Why can't we do something for ourselves? And like the cover of this says, love your body, love yourself. And trying to find comfort in food, sick of feeling guilty, feel like you've tried everything and nothing's worked, here's help, one baby step at a time. So through this book, I know I'm you know, I'm not sharing the entire chapters, but I hope that you guys are getting something out of this if you're dealing with this. And even if you're not dealing with the body clutter, if you're dealing with something else, a lot of these can be used for that as well. And I hope that it's blessing you. I hope that it's giving you some hope, and eventually we will get to the rest of this chapter. Now the next body clutter mission is it's going to be a little harder, I think, to write these down. I know the next chapter is, because I think I stopped reading this the first time through chapter 6. I don't know if I got to the body clutter mission in chapter 6, but in chapter 5 I did, and that one was hard. So I'm hoping that that's a shorter chapter, and that one is called Forgiveness. So I'm thinking that it'll be one more video for this chapter, and then I can get to that one. And I may try to film those coming up probably in the next couple days. I don't think I have anything to do outside of the house until Monday that I have an appointment, and then Tuesday I go in to finally get this trigger finger taken care of, or at least looked at. The last time I had this last year, I got a steroid shot, I believe, or cortisol shot, I don't know, whatever they give in my hand, which lasted about 6 months, but that shot hurt so bad. And the ones that did it weren't hand specialists. It was someone in my hometown, but it was like an emergency situation. I couldn't deal with it anymore, and it was starting to stay stuck, and it's a lot harder by that time. If it starts staying stuck, it's probably going to require a surgery. It may require surgery now, but I'm not sure. So I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that one more shot, and hopefully I can figure out some ways to deal with that, because I did have carpal tunnel surgery and cubital tunnel surgery on this on my right arm. I didn't do it on my left, although I do have carpal tunnel and cubital tunnel on that as well. But because I don't use this one as much, it doesn't cause as much of the numbing. This one would go numb a lot. I mean, the whole entire thing. So it's worked. Well, the carpal tunnel surgery seemed to give me relief. The cubital tunnel, it was so tight in there that this scar that I have, I don't know if you can see it right here, if I even just touch it like this, it hurts. And if I like lean it on something hard, it's worse than when you hit your elbow, like the funny bone. It is worse than that. It's like that times pain of like, I don't know, it's like the pain that almost makes you nauseated like that. It's really bad. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why it stayed like that. So I'm hoping that this time I don't have to have surgery. But on that note, I will end this video, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening. And if you have any prayer requests or anything that you'd like to share with me in the comments below, any ideas for future videos, and if there's some, I'll share. I do have one more Bible collection video that's should be coming up soon. And the other thing that I need to do is the prayer Bible setup. I'm struggling with the small Bible. I have a really hard time using the small ones. First of all, the font in there is really tiny, and now at the wonderful age of 46, I've always worn glasses, but now I have to take them off and to read the small print, so I look like, and I don't want to get bifocals on these. I don't know. Maybe if I had a different size of glass, I don't know. I don't know how they work, but I'm hoping that I don't need them, at least not for a long time. But I do notice that happens. So I'm thinking that one of the Bibles that I'm going to share in my next Bible collection video will be one of the prayer Bibles. It's a regular size Bible, I believe. It might be a little bit wider because it's a journaling Bible, but I did see someone, I don't remember, somebody came up in my YouTube feed, did a prayer Bible in a more regular size journaling Bible, and I really liked that idea because what they did in there was tab, of course, each section, well, it's scripture for that section, and then in that little, on the journaling part of it, they wrote out a scripture for, like, I think one section she had was for her husband, so she wrote the prayer out there. I really liked that idea. I thought, this would be, instead of having a journal just for that, I could do it in there. And then, of course, I'll probably need more paper, so I can do like tip-ins or something and actually just use the Bible for that. So when I pull that out, I have at least one, because I was going to use my Inspire Bible, but that one does have like pictures to color in. So I think I'm going to use the other one, and I can't remember what it's called. It's one I think that I won years ago in a giveaway. So I will share that soon. All right, I will see you in the next one. God bless you. Bye.